What is your word for 2026? What is the theme that is going to drive you or motivate you or lift you or float you or caressingly present you into some sort of new success or achievement or state of perfect bliss in 2026?
Perfect bliss in 26.
How are you going to whip yourself into a frenzy of motivation for more than 3 days? Or how are you going to give yourself grace so that you can nap through the entire year? All of these traps we will be discussing in this video to come. I'm Eric. I'm a novelist. I eat all kinds of stuff.
And I'm JJ, and I am a life coach, and I'm not even going there right now. But welcome to our channel.
So do you have a word?
I don't tend to do
There
this.
goes this episode.
No, I kind of do, but I don't tend to do it at the beginning of the year in January. That doesn't work with my flow. I tend to do things in the fall or the spring.
Okay.
Those are when my energy is just in that direction. So that's why like all my anniversaries around diet and stuff are spring or fall.
Okay. So I know what my word is.
Oh, you do? What
it
is
just occurred to me.
Okay.
It arose out of the depths and into my mind. So that's a good sign, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you like my visual?
I did. It was almost a dance, like a lyrical dance.
That is not my word, dance. My word for 2026 is energy.
Energy.
Yes.
Interesting. What does that mean to you?
I want to cultivate physical and cognitive energy to support living, good mental health, getting some things done that I want to do, wanting to do things in the first place would be part of that. So I think energy is the theme for me for 2026.
I like that.
And it has a lot of downstream implications.
Okay, so I'll answer these questions as well for myself. So how are you practicing? How do you think you'll practice energy? And I know you've got 30 seconds that you just came up with this. So, but what are you going to put into this energy theme?
Well, I think it arises out of the work I've already been doing for kind of planning some things that I'm doing at the beginning of this year. But to me, there's certain domains. One is obviously physical exertion / exercise to support the ongoing physical work and activities that I want to do. And I also believe that those exertions are energy generating in their own right if they're done frequently enough. Obviously, food on this channel, we talk about a lot. So getting my diet dialed in to support energy creation in the mitochondria is a big part of it. I have a big endeavor this year on the creative side that will require a lot of creative and cognitive energy. And all of this is not just spurts of energy once in a while. It's daily incremental exertions and activities. So for me, underlying all of that, I need to cultivate energy.
Okay. All right. And so my word, I would say, which I started last fall, is coherence.
Okay.
Okay. And alignment. Coherent, like 2 words. I'll take 2. Coherence and alignment. And so I've talked on this channel about how something clicked in me. I don't have the anniversary date for that one. But something clicked into me and I was like, oh, I want to bring my best self to every day. And that requires me to work on sort of my coherence of physical, mental, spiritual, whatever. And so one of the things I did when that clicked was I started meditating every morning and doing sort of my morning routine that is natural and flows right now. It's not like it's a discipline that I did. It just was like, oh,
So coherence is a pretty abstract word.
It is.
But when I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking of Joe Dispenza's coherent breathing, brain, heart concept.
Yeah. I mean, it stemmed from some of his stuff. But it's not exactly that. But for me, I'm not talking about I need to do a certain breathing exercise or, do the heart math thing and make sure that they're synced up. But in general, to sort of bring myself into this alignment where I have energy, where I have internal certainty. You can't have external certainty, but where I feel very aligned with how I'm living my life. My energy feels aligned. My emotional state feels aligned. Just this general feeling of being coherent.
You can't use the word in the definition.
I know.
That's like from third grade.
I know. So having this feeling of consistency and alignment. I guess I got to use alignment over and over again. You're the wordsmith. What words are coming to you when I say that? I'll tell you if I reject them or accept them.
Well, I guess it's internally consistent.
And congruent?
Congruence is kind of a snaky word around something else. But I think what you're facing is you're trying to point to something that is an experience within you.
Yes.
That isn't translatable into someone else's mind unless they've experienced that internal experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're pointing to something that only you can feel.
Sense. There's a sensing of it. And it is.
But I mean, energy is the same. Like, what does energy feel like in me versus you?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. So that's what my practice has been, is to be able to lay the foundation so that as much as possible, I can be in that space of expansion and openness and alignment. And there's some more words to throw in there.
All of those meant zero things.
Right.
But they feel somehow.
But they feel, there's just a centeredness, a groundedness, a certainty internally that comes with that. So that's been my practice, and it will continue. It's moving on. It might move farther than spring, but I just wait for my own sort of internal compass to go, oh, here's my word. So that's the one that's in effect right now. But what we did, where we defined it, we both defined our words, and then we talked about how we're going to practice it. That's sort of taking that word and creating an intention for it. So I mentioned that if people were interested, I would be talking about intentions a little bit. And so intention is not a goal. It's not, I'm going to lose 5 pounds. You can't even control that. I mean, there are levers you can pull, but you can't control it. An intention is about how you are going to practice something that's larger than a goal. It's more like a beingness, or I'll say beingness. It's larger than a goal. Who is the type of person that needs to do that, to be that way, to hit that goal? What are you hearing?
I'm still listening to you.
No, I know, but I'm just
hearing you talk.
But does that mean anything to you, or is it a bunch of words?
Well, I've struggled. I mean, I've heard this intention thing talked about. I mean, I think Wayne Dyer even had a whole book on it at one point 20 years ago. And I hear the different definition of the word intention. It's like, well, I intended to meet my goals.
Right.
And therefore that should count for meeting them.
Yeah.
And that's not actually like what you're saying, I don't think.
No, it's really about how you are coming to the world. How are you showing up? What are you doing? What are you willing to practice doing so that you can be that person who has the coherence, or the person, because that could be an intention, or the person who's hitting your health goals, or the person who is finding more abundance, or getting the house in order this year. What type of person do you need to bring to those projects? I need to bring a coherent person to all my projects.
I need to bring an energetic one.
Yeah.
And I think it's just, I tend to think more mechanistically about things. So I was raised by and around engineers, even though I'm not one. Mm-hmm. So there's that sort of way of reductive thinking is kind of one of my challenges, actually.
So this is your top level, I'll use the word vibe, like your top level vibe that you're going to bring to things you want to do this year. So I think energy
and intention is different than the word, or it is part of the word. I don't understand this.
Yep, I'm going there. Thank you. So take your word and move it into intention. So first define it. What does that mean for you? And then how are you going to show up in that word? How are you going to practice? Because in Fearless Living, I'm a master certified Fearless Living coach, trainer, keynoter, all the things for Fearless Living, right? I help create their curriculum. So in Fearless Living terms, we have a specific way that we word our intention. And that's, I am willing to practice. I am willing to practice. So I am willing to practice coherence.
Okay.
How would you?
Well, I wouldn't use energy in that.
What would you put?
I would use the word persistence.
Okay.
This.
Here we go.
It did that thing again.
Yeah.
As you were talking, I'm like, persistence is the intention of, in order to have the energy, I need to have a persistent Eric show up.
So that's the higher level Eric that needs to show up.
I guess so. Yeah. I've never met him. That's not true. I'm discounting a lot of accomplishment there, but I'm not good friends with him.
Well, and that is why we use the words that we use. Willingness, number one, is the key that unlocks the intention. So are you willing to do it? If you're not willing to be persistent, it is not
that's
the intention for you. Right. Because a lot of times we say things that we think we should be, but the willingness is very low. So you have to have a certain level of willingness. I would say on a level 1 to 10, you probably need a 7 or above of willingness to really make it work.
It's so funny to hear you talk in this way, because I am so steeped in you got to commit. You have to dig deep.
Yes.
There are no excuses, no apologies, nothing other than achieving every single step and every single milestone on time or early. And there is no 70% commitment. That's not what commitment is. Commitment is 100% or 0.
Right. And what did you just say you weren't friends with? You didn't know him very well.
Persistent, Eric.
Yeah. So a lot of times those types of things are what actually get in the way of us, that black and white thinking. So the other word is practice. And that was revolutionary to me, this idea of practice, even though I came from like my arts background and stuff, theater and dance, and we rehearse, we practice, we do the bar work, right? But I was kind of like, no, I'm either doing it or I'm not. There is no, and it's got to be right. It's got to be perfect. It's got to be right. There is no practicing. There is no room for it not being perfect. And so the idea of practice really became huge for me, because it gives you that wiggle room. There are going to be days when persistent Eric isn't there. And it could be something that you have like absolutely no control over, like you get sick.
Yeah.
Right? Or a family member gets sick and your role changes all of a sudden. And so persistent Eric, that practice gives you some self-grace. You're practicing. You're doing the best you can. You're practicing. And it's not going to be 100% all the time. And instead of beating yourself up with negative self-talk about, I screwed it up, and now I'm off the wagon. That's it. It gives you that grace. Now, what is your sort of male energy mind doing with that?
Well, I'm trying to not get trapped into that. I mean, there are super high achievers have this drive that allows them to get a lot done at a cost.
Yeah.
And that is always the balance, right? Is like, what did you sacrifice to get it? Well, on one view is that sacrifice was really shows how committed you were. But on the other side of it is, well, you don't have that thing you sacrificed because you chose this other thing for it.
Yeah.
And for me, it's always been this weird sort of balance because I watched my dad sacrifice a lot for a lot of accomplishment.
Yeah.
But to me, it did not seem like the cost was anywhere close to worth it for what he got out of it. But that was just my own sort of perspective.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But as I think about persistence and grace, as a balancing those two things out, I want to come back to a video we did before the holidays where we talked about taking extremely tiny steps. And I think that's where the engineering mechanistic side can meet this woo-woo soft word salad side. Because if you scale the steps and the reps appropriately, you can achieve your aim without as much danger of reversal, I guess is what I want to say.
Yes.
I'm thinking in terms of, say, an exercise regimen where there's a tendency to want to jump into a lot of volume as almost as a sort of a self-punishment.
Yeah.
And to speed up getting healthy because we want to cram for health, like farmers can cram for a harvest, right?
Yeah, right.
But the smart way and the healthy way is to increment so slowly that you barely notice the fact that it's gotten slightly harder. And that has the benefit of being able to be sustained. So persistent Eric does not need to be like a Navy SEAL on this project. He can just increment little bit by little bit. And therefore, being 100% committed to any given day is not 100% commitment to exhausting myself and leaving absolutely nothing left for the rest of the day.
Right.
That's as an example.
Yeah. Yeah. And one thing you've pointed out too is bringing in this, how do you actually put this into action? And so in Fearless Living, we don't ignore the practical either. Your goals fall under that intention statement, exactly as you're saying right now. So it's not like we're forgetting all the goals and everything, but there's that umbrella of the intention. So the persistent Eric can't do crazy Navy SEAL workouts because the persistence is gone, right? You burn out or injury, burnout, whatever, instantly. So you do still get to have the goals. And like you said, very often you're taking those smaller stretches. They're things you can do, but you haven't done them yet.
It's actually hard to do less than you think you should.
Yes.
If you have a certain personality.
Yeah.
And this is something it's so crazy. When you're a kid and you're assigned a chore, you might want to do the minimum acceptable because kids become lawyers, right? You said I had to sweep. You did not say I needed to get all the dirt off the floor. And I swept, right? That'd be an example that some kid would lawyer themselves. Of course, it never works because the parents are like, you know better than that. But when you're setting these goals for yourself for things you want, you can let yourself off the hook. But at least for me, there's a tendency to want to shoot a little higher and a little harder in order to feel like I'm progressing faster than some other unknown person.
Yeah.
And what I've taken all this time to learn was Do I want to get to some arbitrary goal faster than some unknown person in my mind? Or do I want to just get there at some point? Because if I try to get there as fast as possible as this made up person in my mind, I'm going to get injured or burnt out and lose all my enthusiasm and give up.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so crazy, the mental mind games that I go through in order to first motivate myself and then give myself a reason to not complete it.
Yeah. Yeah. And we've talked in past videos about stretch, risk, die.
Mm-hmm.
Should I get my model? I think we have it behind. I don't know. It'll probably take me a while. So we've talked about stretch, risk, die before. Your comfort zones, it's a bullseye. Your comfort zone's in the middle. It's what you do now.
Mm-hmm.
It's who you are now. Your stretch roam, the stretch zone is that next bullseye circle around it. It's the things you know you can do, but you haven't done them yet. Then there's the risk zone where there's risk of failure. And then the farthest out is the die zone that you don't even want to try. So it's fine, you don't even want to. And your physical sensations ramp up the farther you get from your comfort zone. Your fight, flight, freeze, and fawn, people-pleasing type tendencies, the more you go away from the comfort zone, the more they tend to be there. So what you're mentioning is really important. Why I brought this up is that stretch zone, things you know you could do, but you haven't done yet. Those are where a bunch of the shoulds lie. I should be doing this. I should have done this before. I should be more persistent. I should be able to bring myself to the day every day perfectly. That's where all the shoulds lie, or most of them. That's where we beat ourselves up the most. That's where we have the most negative self-talk, because we know we can do it. So why aren't we? Right? A matter of fact, we should be going beyond those stretches. We should be achieving more than those stretches. And so that zone is really important because it's the zone where we can spend the most time in getting to our goals, stretch by stretch, small step by small step. And we do it without shooting on ourselves, without the negative self-talk. It's really, really important to celebrate that I did that thing today. It's not that it was done perfectly. I was practicing. It's not that I did 110%. It's that I did that thing today. I get the gold star on my calendar because I just did the thing.
So I'm doing this right now with a kettlebell workout that I used to do. If you know what a kettlebell is, that's helpful. But I used to love to do my kettlebell workouts. And one of the ones I would do at home was this thing called Simple and Sinister. There's a whole book about it by Pavel Tsatsouline. And he even has a standard for how much weight and how much time it should take, and an acknowledgement you need to build up to it over time. And what I did when I originally did that program was I just got the weight and just did it. And I could not ever get to doing it every single day. My body just couldn't handle it.
Right.
But when I decided that this year I wanted to get back into that, I wanted to do the Simple and Sinister. And for me, my goal is a 32-pound kettlebell, 100 swings, 10 get-ups. I don't care about the time frame. But I realized when I was getting ready to start into it, I was like, there is no way I'm going to go downstairs and grab the 32-kilogram kettlebell and do this completely without ramping into it. And as I started thinking about how I was going to ramp into it, I was like, you know what? Whoa, wait a minute. Why don't I ramp into it really, really, really gradually rather than what I would have thought in the past was really gradually, was like over 3 workouts. I'd take 3 workouts to work up into it. That would be my gradual ramp up. And instead thought, what if I was so gradual that I barely noticed each increment? And that's what I'm doing this time.
And this is huge.
This is so hard.
This is a complete shift of your mental model.
Yeah. I'm taking my own advice.
Yeah.
And today is workout number 3 or something. And I've started with low weight. very small number of swings, small number of get-ups, and I have to acknowledge the 55-year-old limbs and joints and stuff that even though I have the muscle memory to do these things because I did so many in the past, that's actually a recipe for disaster if you're detrained in these things. So, because I hadn't really been doing swings and stuff. So anyway, that was an example of how I wanted to very slowly ramp into something so that I could actually get to my goal in a way that was sustainable, because I want to be able to use the Simple and Sinister workout for years to come as one of the foundations for my base fitness. And rather than just get to the standard and be sore and achy all day, every day up until that point and risking injury, because that's not consistent with my theme of the year, apparently, which is energy.
No, that's an energy killer.
Yeah, that's absolutely the opposite.
Yeah. So again, I want to point out this is huge because your 55-year-old brain has never thought this way before.
Yeah, wisdom came late.
Well, no, it didn't. And I'm not making fun of it. What I actually want to do is celebrate that mindset shift.
Here we go again, acknowledging success.
I know.
I don't like acknowledging things that haven't happened yet.
No, but the mental shift has started. And that's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's 55 years of conditioning.
I have to be honest, JJ, it still feels like I've wimped out.
Like you're phoning it. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Even I'm fighting against that inclination because I want to be smart.
Yeah.
I don't want to blow out the shoulders or the back.
Yeah.
So I have to be smarter than I am. I have to outsmart myself.
Well, and what is your trigger?
Stupid.
So I'm talking about the wheel of fear there. We did a whole video on the wheel of fear. Woohoo. And no, that I bring it up because your trigger, what you don't want to become, you have to be really vigilant about. And so do I. Everyone has a core trigger, and we have to be really vigilant that we're not trying to prove it wrong. And that we're actually, you're trying to do it smarter, but not in a way that's trying to prove yourself. Right? You're doing it in a way that's systematic. You're like, okay, this hasn't worked in the past. I'm trying to move forward in this new way.
Right.
Yeah. It's not a knee-jerk reaction type of thing. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I did want to acknowledge something though, or not acknowledge like we were just talking about, celebrate. When we move into this time of year, or whenever you might do your goal setting, your intention setting, like I said, at some point, Eric is going to get sick, or possibly. Like you might get a cold, or you might cut down a tree and actually be really achy the next day. For you, unforeseen thing comes up, right? So we need to really guard against those and understand when they become some excuse versus when they are a reason that, I need to maybe take the day off of simple and sinister tomorrow.
Got it.
Okay.
So an excuse versus what?
Excuse versus a choice. So let me start by giving you some of the warning signs that you might be moving into excuse land. All right. So some of the ways you might notice you are moving into excuse land is if you say to yourself, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough help, I don't have enough energy, something bad will happen again. Usually it's an again. I'm too old for this. I'm too young for this. My partner, my parents, my kids, someone in your world won't like me doing this, or I'm just too overwhelmed. So those are some common excuses that come up, or you might have another one. There's always room for more, right? But they're often centered around not having these resources of time, energy, money, people support, that type of thing. Now, I know some of you are thinking, yeah, but I really don't have the time. I really don't have the money. I don't have the help, right? And that's why excuses are so very tricky. Excuses do excuse you from fulfilling your potential, and they are sneaky because they sound absolutely reasonable. They often include a sliver of truth, but they leave us stuck, trapped in patterns that keep us from living the life our soul intended. That's a Fearless Living tagline. I know you love that probably.
I don't.
We use excuses to explain why we're not ready, why we can't change, why the moment isn't right now. They become a wall between us and our freedom. What makes them even trickier are that many excuses are backed by real experiences. A full schedule, an empty bank account, a string of painful mistakes. That's why excuses can feel like a real world limitation. But freedom doesn't mean denying reality. It means refusing to let that reality define your future. That's sort of the groundwork for an excuse. They often contain some reality, but we have to get really clear on when we are using those to excuse ourselves from our potential and when it is an actual reason. I chopped that tree down. I am really sore. My body needs rest today, versus a week later when you're still saying, I chopped that tree down and my body needs to rest. Does it really? Or has that just become a limitation that you're putting in place? Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense to me.
Okay. So for me, not enough time has been a big excuse. I'm busy is a huge excuse for me that I've actually worked on the last couple of years to try to at least not be saying that verbally and find when it's catching me up, because you said it today, I'm always busy. And that's how I like things, and it doesn't get to become an excuse for me. So let's look at what happens when we go from I don't have the time for this, I don't have the energy for this, to no, I really am busy today. I've got 5 meetings and my body is really sore from chopping the tree down, right? What's the difference between those things? And the big difference is choice. I'm not letting that limitation make the choice for me. I'm actually saying, no, I'm choosing to rest my body today. I'm choosing to use my time on 5 meetings today and not on connecting with my family. It's a choice. It's always a choice. You have a real world limitation for some reason. There is a real world thing that happened. The excuse is you feel powerless. Oh, I can't do it. My body's sore. I don't have time. And you continue to validate it and keep it alive. Like I said, it's not about today. It's about you're carrying that excuse into the future way longer than you need to. You use that limitation to predict future outcomes. You use it as evidence for why you can't take action or be successful. Well, see, look, I have 5 meetings today. I'm justifying why. If you find yourself in a defensive or justifying state, it's probably an excuse. You let the limitation shield you from taking risks. So for me, staying really busy is a lot easier, a lot more in my comfort zone than actually connecting with real people. Go figure. And then finally, you say, I have to, I need to, and I should. I have to go to those 5 meetings today. I need to relax my body or let my body rest. I should let my body rest. Those are all language choices that put you sort of more, you want to examine, are you moving into that excuse realm versus making a choice where you're taking responsibility. I am choosing to rest my body today. I am choosing to use my time on 5 meetings today.
I am choosing to eat a bag of chocolate-covered pretzels every single day for this week.
Right.
Wait a minute. You're supposed to say, no, that goes beyond.
But from the language perspective,
okay,
you're choosing it. And you can choose something differently if you want. So if every day, instead of going, it's the holidays.
There's a trap here is what I wanted to point out,
Mhm.
is that you could get it. You could fall into a trap of saying, I guess I just make bad choices.
Right.
I take responsibility by saying, I can't even help myself. I'm an irresponsible person.
Right.
That's like a total trap.
Right. And that goes to that fourth bullet point down on the excuse side, where you're using the limitation as evidence for why you can't take action and can't be successful. I guess I'm just that way. You're taking your choice and your responsibility off the table. I'm just built this way.
Yeah.
This is how I do it.
You're disguising an excuse as a choice.
Yeah. Yeah. You have the freedom to let go of that past and focus on what is possible now. So it might even mean, you know what? I'm choosing to eat this bag of pretzels today. And tomorrow I'm going to make a different choice. But you can't always say tomorrow. It can't be always tomorrow. But I'm going to focus on what's possible for me now. I'm going to eat. It's the holiday. I'm going to eat this bag of chocolate-covered pretzels. I'm choosing to do that today on Christmas.
Well, see, this is where I think it gets for people who can't moderate like me.
Yeah.
What happens is, I think, is without the intention and the word and the aim, there's always this, I'll start tomorrow.
Yes.
But what they're starting is quitting something without an aim towards some other higher purpose.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it's hard to make the right choice when there's no object out there in the future.
Yeah.
That's just my view.
No, that's true. That's true. Absolutely true. And it's why, well, it's also why community tends to be important in some way. I know a lot of the people in this space talk about community and have communities, right, to help keep them on track. It's a piece of accountability. And that sometimes is not only having that word, that intention, that goal, that thing you're pointed at, but also people who are with you in it, helping support you in getting there, who aren't judging. It's not about shaming the person for having the bag of pretzels. It's about supporting them in and sort of holding that vision of, I'll use your word, that vision of the persistent Eric, even when Eric is wobbling. I'm holding that for you, and I'm going to support you, not by judgment, not by shaming, but I know that's there for you. I know that's in there. I know that's what you want. But excuses, I brought it up. It is this is masterwork, because you can know everything I told you today and have been practicing it for 10 years, 20 years like I have, and still find, wait a minute, I was just I just made myself a victim to something and I'm using it as an excuse. We have our blind spots. And it's a work that I don't know if anyone, it's a practice. There's the word practice again. It's a practice that I don't know if we get it right 100% ever.
Well, I guess it becomes a skill, right? So
yeah. Yes.
You catch it quicker than other people catch it.
You catch it more frequently, quicker. It's not as intense. And yet it still might, all of a sudden you might be going, oh, dang, I was just using that. The house remodel, that was a great excuse for a while too.
Well, it was a reason.
Yes. And again, just so I know, am I using it as an excuse to avoid doing something I don't want to, basically? Am I using it to avoid doing something I don't want to? And it feels real, but am I letting it define that situation, or am I proactively, powerfully choosing to say, no, it's really, I've got to work on the house remodel today.
So today we covered the word, the intention, a lot of process stuff, this distinction between excuses and choice. And I think that the one thing we didn't talk about was resolutions and goals. And I think that I chose energy because I have an idea of something that I want. in the future. It's not really about accomplishing for me in 2026. It's about leveling up and being able to sustain that level up. And that being the platform upon which I can do all kinds of other things that I want to do.
Yeah.
So I almost see 2026 in part as a transitional year. But hopefully that doesn't take that long. Maybe it's a transitional quarter, but because I'm reformulating my diet, my metabolism, my exertion, the way I'm thinking about structuring my days. And as much as I'd like to think I can just flip a switch and just be different, that's not how it works.
Yeah. Yeah.
But having some sort of higher objective is what gets a person out of the mire of their own spinning thoughts too, right? Because they're toward something rather than trying to get away from something.
Yes. Yes. It's really important to have that thing to aim toward and not just be running away from bad health
Right.
or running away from fragility.
Yeah, I'm going to not have pretzels is not the best goal. You want to have vitality and energy and health and all those things, not have sickness.
Yeah.
Although I understand why you'd want to get away from sickness, you want to go toward health.
Yeah. It just puts you in a whole different mindset.
Frame.
Yeah. Which is really important. So yeah.
I have nothing else to say on the topic. I feel like I know everything.
Yes. Yes. And I'm sure you do too.
I'm done for the year.
Check. Gold star. No, we would love to hear from you. What is your word or intention or goal? However you want to frame it, we'd love to hear from you in the comments.
Yep.
Let us know what 2026 is for you.
With that,
Every day stronger?
every day more blessed.